Hi, I'm Noah, and this is Muddy Creek Pottery. Welcome. So the one thing that's really important to know about wood-fired pots is that each pot that goes in the kiln ends up totally different because of what happens to it in the kiln. The location of the pot is actually the most important thing because the fire is hitting it differently depending on where it sits in the kiln. As a potter, the most important thing I can do to create the surface of the work is to actually load it in the perfect spot for that piece, so that each piece comes out individual. A big part of the process for me is the firing. I make pots in this little studio here, and then I put them in the kiln. A couple times a year we do a big firing. We load hundreds of pots in the kiln, and over the course of about 7 days, a crew and myself are able to heat up the pots using wood as the only fuel. Coals and ash are running up against the pots, and that's creating a lot of the surfaces as well. The building behind me is the studio where I make pots. I've got 2 wheels in there, I do all my throwing, and the pots sit in shelves and wait until it's time to fire, and then they come in here. This is the kiln shed, and a lot of the action of firing happens here. We've got wood stacked up, ready for the next firing, and if you take a look inside the kiln, you can see what's going on. In the back of the kiln, you see that we have some shelves that are stacked up from the last firing. All the pots are stacked on shelves, and we start in the back and we load towards the front, so the entire kiln is filled with pots. We put about 900 in this last firing, and so as you can imagine, it takes a while to make all those pots, and we fire about twice a year. Most of the wood is stuck through the front door, but a lot is actually put through these side doors as well. It's just a narrow trench, and there's pots on both sides, and so during the entire firing we're taking skinny pieces of wood and dropping them in between and shutting these doors quick because flame is coming back at us. I make a lot of different kinds of pots. A lot of it is functional dinnerware and some large pieces as well. I really like making stuff for the table. I like stuff that people will use to eat together. And so you see like a lot of cups, a lot of teaware. I've just been working on some new sugar pots, and I'm really happy with these guys. And then I make larger jars as well. And ornamental vases, and those can be decorative or can hold storage things. I really like making serving bowls as well, so the whole family can eat together. So you can see with all these pots that each one is different, and each one is informed by what happened to it during the firing. So all of the decoration you see, all the ash and surface, that's from the fire, and each piece comes out completely differently because of that. Thanks for coming by the studio, and please take a look at my online shop and feel free to make an appointment and come visit here in person.